Welcome to News Today. The headline news. Segun Awosanya explains why Peter Obi cannot be Nigeria's president. The news in full. Segun Awosanya, popularly known and called as Segun, and the social commentators and institutional reforms advocates said Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Nigeria Democratic Congress (NDC), lacks the qualities required to lead Nigeria. Segun described Obi's style of politics as divisive and driven by what he called an online mob, quote and unquote. Awosanya made the revelation when he spoke on the State of the Nation, tagged the 2027 general election and Obi's presidential ambition, end of quote. Segun accused Obi of building his political appeal around public anger rather than national leadership. Quote, it is obvious, that's quote by Segun, quote, it is obvious to the blind and audible to the deaf that somebody who is playing to the gallery, who postures as one thing and is actually another should be revealed for who they are. End of quote. Quote again. As far as I'm concerned, that's Segun there, talking. As far as I'm concerned, quote, as far as I'm concerned, Peter Obi is just a leader of the mob. Somebody who is surfing the wave of other people to demonize people and blackmail people in order to gain attention to themselves and then bully themselves into political powers. End of quote. Segun admitted that he has disagreed with Obi's supporters because of their mode of operation and support techniques, but had no personal conflict with the obedient movement. Quote by Segun, there is no friction between me and anybody. I don't even recognize them as anything. I am focused on what I am doing, said Segun, concluded. Segun alleged that members of obedient movement attempted to hijack the hashtag #EndSARS protest that almost caused another civil war, if not that it was checked by the government in power. And, quote, if you look at the antecedents of the obedient group, they were one of the they're one of the cancerous modes within the #EndSARS advocates, and they wanted to use the movement for their own game. And when they failed, they demonized everybody within the system. End of quote. Quote again. When I commended Peter Obi, I commended him because he was at that time speaking to issues that border on vulnerable individuals in the country. End of quote. Added that his earlier comments were not promotion. He was not promoting him. Was not promotion, but was an observation. End of quote. Stanley Emmanuel, reporting from my channel.